still the Rivers State government issue. You know, after this state of emergency, the government has just announced the suspension of all political office holders and appointees, including the SSG, Chief of Staff Commissioners, and Special Advisors. Now, this is a bold move, you know, and it comes under the authority of the Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ekwe Ibas, as directed by the President. Now, what does this mean for governance in Rivers State? Who steps in next? You know, stay with us as we unpack this with great insights from Warif and Kule. You guys are welcome to the show. Kule, let's have legal insights and perspectives from you first.
My legal insight is that there's nothing legal going on here.
Absolutely. Everything is illegal.
The Constitution far and wide. I haven't seen anywhere that you can just remove political officers like that. I mean, there's impeachment procedures and all sorts, but you can't just remove, we still call state of emergency and start removing elected officials. That's basically a coup. If you look at the video of what of the declarations that Abacha made, and Babangida made when they, I think it's when Babangida came to power. If you look at the things that he said on the radio when he took over by a coup, it's pretty much exactly the same as what you're seeing here. And given that 90% of our income comes from Rivers State, as far as the politician, if you're a politician or in politics, or any Nigerian that depends on the income from crude oil for life, to make a living or to have a good life, which is basically pretty much all of us, it's kind of like, it's kind of a coup. It's kind of a coup. I mean, there's no election, there's no democratic process. You just wake up and decide you're going to remove political office. You're setting a precedent. All the things going on in other states, all the kidnappings, all the violence going on, all the, you know, in the southwest, in those states, in the Osun states, and so on and so forth, all of that, but there's no state of emergency. All the insecurity, no state of emergency. But this is dangerous, you know. If time is not taken, and there's some kind of, this is provoking some kind of rebellion. I hope it doesn't happen, but it could easily happen. And if it happens, you know, the West will come and arm those rebels, and then they'll arm the Nigerian government to cause as much violence as possible. Right. And whilst the chaos is going on, those two sides will be trying to be friendly with those Western governments, and the Western governments will come in and just rape us of our oil, because, you know, they're still getting used to that pipeline that we discovered and cut off. About you know, because it's been running for 50 years. I mean, it's quite dependent on that. So they want to probably get that going again. But fortunately, with Donald Trump pushing back from Africa and USAID and all of that, and saying Africa is a shithole country, and he's a bit naive, he doesn't really quite understand just how dependent the Western world is on Africa for resources.
Yeah.
For all those luxury Italian leather bags, all the leather is from the north of Nigeria.
Oh yeah.
Every time you see luxury leather, it's Nigerian leather. It's not Italian leather. They had to remove the word Italian leather off it because it was a lie. Then they now called it some other name because they couldn't call it Italian leather. So I mean, that's just one small example. But the big picture is that this is opening a gap, and Tinubu is one that is deliberately opening this gap. Now, I don't know whether he's doing it deliberately, knowing that there'll be some kind of reaction and hoping that it'll be an opportunity for the West to come in, or whether he's just blinded by...
Okay, Warif, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I think we've lost Kule. Okay, can you just pick up from where he stopped? Your thoughts. I mean, the military administrator has come in and is basically suspended all the politically appointed officers. What do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your insights?
Okay, just this evening, I think he has
Ibok Ibas.
some parastatals and things like that. And that wouldn't help the River State as a whole, because it's setting this state backward. But everything that is happening in River State, to me, as far as I'm concerned, is just a script that they are acting towards trying
absolutely.
to get River State towards 2027, 2027, not just the presidential election, but governorship election. And Wike right now.
Sorry about that.
Oh yes.
Right now, Wike is just, I don't know if PDP, they don't have the power to suspend him or to cripple him, because Wike is just there in PDP causing confusion, distracting them, causing commotion and everything. And I think as at yesterday, I even read something, I don't know how true it is, that a group in Bayelsa State will be having a mega rally in honor of the FCT minister. And that was what happened at Abalama, that the people, they said they don't want him, and he still went. So now going to Bayelsa State, and Bayelsa State is like the headquarters of the job people. So you want to cause more chaos. I remember a video that he said, whichever governor that comes into his affair with the River State affair, that is going to cause problem in that state.
I've lost Warif. I don't know if
okay, I can hear you. But can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay.
So I think him going to visit Bayelsa State at this particular period of time, yes, it's going to cause more chaos and more whatever. Before you know it now, they might want to declare state of emergency, and declaring it like what Mr. Kunle said. There are people in the Western world waiting, standing by to support this.
Take advantage of the situation.
Yes, take advantage of it. And they are doing it. They'll be drilling the oil, supplying them arms, and that's not what we want in Nigeria. So the whole thing is just, and if I may say,
why come I can hear you? I can't hear a word. Can Warif hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, continue, Warif.
Can I ask you? Warif, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, he says he can hear you, and I can hear him as well. Can you just jump out and jump in again? Can you jump out and jump in again?
Is it me or Mr. Kunle?
Okay,
like as I was saying, the president, is the father of the nation. He's supposed to call Nyesom Wike to order, since they've done that to Sim Fubara, because it's like a one-sided thing. It's just like two persons are fighting, or maybe the other one. If you say two people are fighting, they might say Wike is not the one fighting and Sim Fubara. Well, but everybody knows that, or let me say, the whole thing is clear that Wike is siding, the president against 2027. And let it not be a shocker to the FCT minister that after maybe by the time the president comes back in his second term, he might dump him. I pray that does not happen or whatever. So back to the River State, you tired.
Understand something as an outsider. Can I ask you something, Warif?
Yeah,
I want to ask you a question. As an outsider, what would the okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, what would the take be of an outsider if at the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, if they can, is being involved in River State? If you are a proponent for the government, how would you be able to justify Wike's involvement, however slight? Is there any way, as if you're a member of Tinubu's government, you can say Wike has the right to interfere in the way he does? What would be the defense? What would be a spokesman for the government? How would you handle Wike's involvement as being the right thing that he did? What would you say?
I mean, everything is there's no way to rationalize that. There's no way. There's really no way.
No.
He's an appointee of Tinubu under an APC government. So how do you defend that? Well, Warif, go ahead.
It's cut off again. I have to go and come again. I'll cut off again.
Oh, okay. Warif, I can't hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're just coming back now.
Yeah, you're just coming back now. Yeah. But you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Sule, can you hear us both?
Yeah, I can hear you both.
Okay. So go ahead, Warif.
Okay. Like what I was saying, I said.
Yeah, how do you justify Wike's involvement?
You know, the whole thing is just confusing. According to him, he's a member of the PDP and he was appointed by the APC president. Now, him doing all this thing, acting in favor of the president, everybody knows how Wike plays his own politics. And who knows the agreement they might have gone into just to secure Rivers State for the president in 2027 election. So, and you know, when things like this are happening, there is how the president would have solved the issue. But the whole thing is so clear that he's one-sided. Because if you know Wike is one kind of person that, to me, I say he does not have a secret. Because if the president should call him and tell him, look, allow this man, he's 4 years, and so, he might fill him up. So now, for them to have suspended the governor, they are putting all their persons in sensitive positions. Even though those ones are, like the chief of staff is a northerner, they are still putting Wike's people there that will act the script that have been given to them. So the whole thing is just somehow.
But the way I see it, Warif, the way I see it, right now, it's looking like it's not really exactly favoring Wike. My reason is that along with all the political appointees that have been suspended, even the 27 pro-Wike lawmakers have been suspended as well. And with the military administrator directly reporting to the president, and he's been released resources of Rivers State, I don't think, I think basically he'll be taking instructions directly from Tinubu. Now, how does that favor Wike? I don't see how it appears that Tinubu has now.
Rebellion.
Yes.
It's like the government is rebellion in that part of the world, in that area. It's as if they're getting ready for some kind of Biafra-like movement that's about it. They're completely wrong to suspect if it is about to happen. They are the cause of it, and you know, that area is so underdeveloped. I mean, I'm Fubara. Look, Fubara is no angel. Don't just get carried away with saying, "Oh, poor Fubara." I've heard some things about him. He's not some angel that's come to save Rivers. He's just as dirty a rat. It's two rats playing at a dirty game, and it's the people that are suffering. So I don't even know. I don't even feel sorry for Fubara either, because I don't think that anything good will come out of either party. But
of course, I agree with you, because this is Fubara that worked in a very prominent role for 8 years with Wike, and all of a sudden he turns against him because if whatever it is that went between both of them, Wike did his best with his political clout and money to ensure that Fubara wins, so he can continue to monopolize the wealth, the commonwealth of the Rivers people. Now they are not on good terms anymore, and everybody are looking at Fubara as an angel. He's not. I quite agree with you. He's not. And I think
the Batman. The two rival gangsters in Batman, the Falcones and the Moronis. Exactly. And that's how I see Fubara and Wike and Tinubu. They're just gangsters fighting amongst themselves.
Absolutely. Warif, you are in Rivers State. What do you think? What are the people saying?
I didn't get you.
I said you are in Rivers State. What are the people saying now that you...
See, Mr. Folabi, if you go to the street and do a census or whatever, you see that 85% of the people, they stand with Fubara, because what Wike did to Peter Obi, the presidential election, is still fresh in their memories. Like he betrayed them, because nobody thought of Wike jumping ship with the now present president. So that thing is still fresh in the mind of the people. And you know, Sim is somebody, like when he came to office for 2 years now, civil servant, he has given them promotion. Minimum the increase in minimum wage, he gave them 85,000 naira. And some other project that he is doing. okay, like what somebody said that Sim and Wike, I believe they went into an agreement, but it's like Wike is trying to push him to go overboard across the agreement. And you know, as a governor, you still have your own persons, you have your own vision, you have what you want to do. There's no way you can be controlled. That's what, at first, it was not like this, but it was later along the line that the both of them started having issue. And again, those, what's it called? The senators, the House of Assembly members and the local government chairman that were there when Singh came in. All these people, they are Wike's boys, and they were not ready to work with what's it called? With Sim. Just imagine a local government chairman calling a governor, Mumu governor. If it was Wike, nobody can't try that with Wike.
Oh yeah.
So the whole thing, they would have what Wike would have done would have allowed him, just like in Lagos State, Ambode, allow him to finish the 4 years and maybe bring in another person. But now that they've suspended, well, that means River State is now.
The only thing I can think of to stop this culture of corruption, the only non-violent way that we can get past this is to teach it in school. For all the corruption we have in the history of Nigeria, it's never been taught as a subject in school. The main reason why we fail, we have the best footballers in the world, but we can't qualify for a World Cup. We have the best doctors in the world, but they are all working abroad. We have, you know, everything that we have is the best in the world. But because the system is so corrupt, we cannot enjoy it. Anything. Yeah, sure. We're the 8th largest producer of oil in the world, and we're importing crude. We're a contradiction at every single step of the way. Yeah. And it all starts with this corruption issue that is killing us. We could be the best football team in the world. Yeah, we could be, we could have the best medical. And I'm a little in the world.
Yeah, hold on, Kule. I'm a little upset because of this suspension, because it's setting a very dangerous precedent for the use of emergency powers by the federal government to intervene in state affairs. This might just be a template for interfering in other state dynamics. I don't know what you think, Kule.
Yes, I mean, it is. But I mean, at the end of the day, the other states are not really important to the government. They don't care about the other states because
it's not a cash cow like Rivers State.
That's not where the money is. Yeah, you want to hurt these people, you hurt them where the money is. Where the money is like where their bollocks are. But I mean, if time is not taken in that River State with what they're doing, these people, if they rise up and they come and take over, they don't like what's going on, they're going to tear those politicians apart like warm bread.
Of course, the situation is like a ticking time bomb, and I don't think the government realizes this.
To explode, and it could cause explosions all over the country because there's northerners that are upset, there's people in the southwest that are upset because they're allowing the Fulani herdsmen do all their nonsense. And then everybody's accusing the Yorubas that we should be happy because it's a Yoruba leader. Meanwhile, the Yorubas are not happy. And I say to those who say it's Yoruba leader, I'm sure Wike and Yaya Bello, are they Yorubas? No, that's just a small group of people who, regardless of their tribe, they play games against the masses of the people to believe all this nonsense. Northerners never benefited from all the northern leaders. That the Yoruba is going to benefit from Yoruba leaders is just a farce. It's a charade. It needs to end.
And again,
go ahead.
It's happening now that they are picking military guys to head some offices. You know, military, they like working with themselves. I just pray that Wike will not have issue with them, because a military man will never want to take instruction from a civilian. They want to do what they are supposed to do.
The corruption of the civilian. It might make you empower them. They might decide, let me take control of everything, since even the civilians are corrupt. And some of these military leaders, they actually go in there with pure intentions. Look at all the francophone military leaders. They actually go in there not planning to make money, because I mean they lead men into death. They have a lot of values, and they might feel that they want to save Nigeria by ridding it of this corrupt, infested world. Look at
especially Niger. I heard that the Niger administrator has just this term, and the people are happy with it because it's ridding the country of and state capture like we have in Nigeria.
Yes, and the Nigerian Nigerian military could be you know, they could be influenced. They'll be, you know, inspired by all of this, and they might feel, oh, let's make the movement reach everyone. And a lot of people would have their support. And once the military decides to do something like that, you know, it's like a tiger. You know, he's riding the back of a tiger when he gives so much power to a military man in a thing that controls 90% of your mineral wealth. You know, you ride the back of the tiger, you pray that you don't fall off that tiger. Don't fall off that tiger. Because if you fall off that tiger, you're going to be launched.
Yeah. But one thing that gives me a little bit of concern is that in all of this, it appears that the government of the day is displaying a brazen disregard for the rule of law and constitutional provisions. And it doesn't augur well for the future of this country. What are your insights, Kunle, concerning this?
Yeah, I mean, this government has been doing that for a while now. And but they've tried to do it with some kind of justification or done it in some kind of way that is sort of covered up. But like now, it's just too... Well, it's actually been pretty been pretty visible all the time. But I mean, it's getting to the point where if they're going to get away with stuff like this, it's like a thing. They're behaving as if there's not going to be another government after Tinubu. You know, is this the last Nigerian government we're going to have? Are we not going to have other governments? And are they going to look back? Because they can't use this template to continue ruling Nigeria and call it a federal republic. You have to start again. I'm sorry, but what they've done, you can't use this as a template. All the things that have happened, then they're using all of this as a precedent. Basically, this democratic system has failed because all of these can be used as a precedent to cause chaos, confusion, anarchy, and injustice. And if it can still be allowed to perpetuate itself, that means that this third republic has failed. It needs to start again. The military needs to come back in, need to wipe the slate clean and have a fourth republic. That's the only solution now. That's the only solution. They've gone too far. I think they've gone too far. And I think we're going to have another coup and a fourth republic. And it's going to be when this corrupt civilian government keeps handing over power to the military leaders. And they're going to be like, you know what? It has to be done because they only know how to steal money. They don't know how to fight a war. If those rebels become coordinated and organized, they won't know how to fight. Tinubu doesn't know how to fight a war. He only knows how to call on generals to fight wars for him. And then those generals will just take over. Because he doesn't know how to fight a war. He knows how to steal money.
Look at what is happening in Congo with the Rwandan-backed rebels. Exactly. It could turn into another Congolese crisis. Yeah.
And he doesn't have any military training. He's not trained in the art of violence. Strong-arming civilians and threatening them and scaring them is not the same as fighting against people that have guns in their hands and fight back, you know? Or when it's like someone beating up girls and then the guy comes up and says, come and have a go with me. I'm not wearing a dress. How lucky do you feel? And that's what Tinubu is going to run into because he's calling in the military because he cannot handle it. He doesn't know how to handle it. He's calling in someone that knows how to handle it. And that person will know how to handle him. And he should just pray that that person doesn't change his mind and decide, you know what? I'm quite disgusted with it because everybody has people talking in their ear. That Rear Admiral, these soldiers, they have people talking in their ears.
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to use a discipline to enforce indiscipline and theft. It can't work. Something is going to break. If they don't pull back, something is going to break. It's not going to boil over and return to normal. I don't think it's going to. It's going to get worse.
Okay, so Waris, as we round up, what is the end game here? The suspension was for 6 months. Do you see Fubara coming back? Or what exactly is the end game?
If Fubara might come back, I believe they might still give him another script to act upon. And if he will not act, if he does not agree to act on this script, they might look for a way to extend the state of emergency. And at the end of the day, is the states that will suffer, the indigents, because as these military guys, they extend their stay in power, they begin to see, some of them that have never tested such type of power, they begin to see the importance of it, how good
the potential of looting the commonwealth of the people. They begin to see the potential of looting the commonwealth of the people.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, some of the so-called wicked guys, they might not be able to, fit into this? Because I know what I'm saying. The military, they don't take order from anybody. They only listen to their superior officers. So if those Rivers guys, maybe APC or PDP, they think they can control those military guys, the military guys will all be Rivers states making the money for themselves, planting to their own advantage, not for the advantage of the state. And again, like what Mr. said, the presidency, they're inviting the military without knowing they're inviting these guys.
Yes. In the old days, in order to take over government, you needed to go to Dodam barracks. Now they're in Aso Rock, it's harder to do that. But what you can now do to take over power is simply to take over the money. You take over the money, then Dodam barracks is just a stone in the middle of the land. It's worthless. So this is another way that you can stage a coup by taking over the oil pipelines. It's basically a coup because the government has nothing to rule. So this would be the modern way of an organized coup, not by taking over the government, but by your source of income. That's a new creative way of staging a coup. And like I said, it looks like a coup. All those people that are being removed, it's like a coup. It's not a coup. It's a coup.
Tinubu's government, the mixture of so-called democracy and military regime, military rule.
Yeah, it's mixture. And the center. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you look at the coup d'etat, death of a state, removal of elected officials. Lots of them. It's not like you're removing one person for being impeached. They removed all of them. That's a coup.
It's a coup. I agree with you.
Because there's nothing in the provisions that allow those kind of removals. I haven't seen.
No, there's nothing. Even the Center for Constitutional Governance, have labeled this as an assault on democracy. They argue that suspending elected or appointed officials at a very large scale like this without clear justification violates any kind of governance principles. And this might set a very bad precedent, especially in other states, where in the states doesn't have any kind of autonomy.
There's no justification. There's no such thing as clear justification, because that's almost presupposed that something needs to happen to allow it. There's no provision in the Constitution that allows this. So anybody can call justification. There's no provision that I've seen that allows people to start removing elected officials in this manner. I've not seen it. I've not seen somebody is watching and they know something that we don't know. No, everybody is learning. Please, they should mention it in the comments and they shouldn't be derogatory. Just say, we don't know what we are talking about. The so section provides that you can remove elected officials.
I quite agree with you on that. Because the abrupt change now, all of what is happening now, there's going to be a lot of protests. There's going to be a lot of arrest of citizens in the days ahead. And this doesn't augur well for the good citizens of Rivers State.
In Bayelsa, the governor made a statement calling on the police commissioner, youth leaders, traditional rulers. At this particular time, with the FCT minister is not even supposed to visit Bayelsa because the whole place is tense. Go in there now. You want to cause more problem for this.
People's nerves are on the edge.
This government is so disciplined that if the army decided to take over, even if you try to arm Tinubu's people to fight back the government, the money you give them to arm them, they will steal the money and then they'll be unarmed and get done.
Oh yeah, sure. It's just that bad.
They're being given to save themselves. They will steal that money, and maybe one or two of them will run to London or America, whoever will take them, and then whoever torn apart like one bread by the military. If time is not taken, they need to start thinking wisely. They need to brains into what they're doing, because if they keep acting without thinking, it's going to happen.
This government is just one-sided, one-party system.
I feel all this could have been avoided by a simple call by the president to Wike, oh boy, leave Rivers State alone and face your work in Abuja.
Yeah, let's not focus on blaming the government. This type of governmental system, had existed before Tinubu was there. But prior to Tinubu being there, Buhari was not. Tinubu is a perfect person for this kind of system. It's like he created a perfect storm. You understand? Buhari was not a purely, I mean, he had his faults, but he wasn't as corrupt in nature as Tinubu. He doesn't have a history of drug running and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, he has his own problems, but not to this level. I mean, we've had some bad leaders, but this guy was an actual former drug runner, an alleged asset of the CIA. I mean, you can't get any dirtier than this. He is the perfect person in this.
Is the kind of chaotic waters he thrives in, really.
He didn't build the system. He just got in and perfected how to really, all he knows how to do is milk the system. He doesn't actually know how to create or generate anything beyond his own personal security. He wouldn't know how to manage a war to protect himself if a war broke out. He just knows how to steal and run. That's all he can do. And that's why it doesn't augur well.
They'll give militants, in the north, more chance to invade the northern states.
Yes, and once they organize themselves, any of organized resistance will require the military to step in and Tinubu to step out because he won't know how to deal with it. Only the military can stop it. He will be completely incompetent to stop it. And he will be now at the whim and the mercy of that government, of those soldiers that take over to bring about order. And once they bring about order, it's either that the soldiers will be like, here's your power back, or you're an idiot. And
even in Rivers State, they have to be careful the way they give order to the administrator, because that man is not a small man in the Navy. He's a retired rear admiral. So he'll look at himself that these are civilians. You cannot come and be giving me order. And I'm in charge.
Where's he from?
He's from Akwa Ibom. It's from Akwa Ibom.
No, Cross River.
Okay.
He's from that area. He's from that area. So he'll have people close to him from that area.
Yeah.
You understand? Not a Yoruba or a Hausa.
No.
You know, look at what happened with the Roman Empire and Arminius. Arminius was a barbarian that was trained in Roman ways. And he was the one that almost got, he was the one that caused Rome to suffer its greatest defeat in the Teutoburg Forest because he knew what to do. And if this guy is an Arminius, we're screwed. If he turns out to be an Arminius and is actually going to be loyal to Rivers and the South and the Southeast, and is just a cover of saying I'm federal, I hope he's not. He may appear to be on the surface. Everybody say, no, it's Tinubu's man. He can turn it. Arminius was a Roman man, and he turned around and wiped them out. So there's a lot of exposure, a lot of unnecessary exposure that this government is facing.
I agree with you.
There are some persons that are important people in prison, like Nnamdi Kanu and El Zazaki. Those ones, they've not even trashed their case. So they need to look into those ones instead of just keeping them.
Yeah. Okay, time is never our friend, and we have to round up now. We have just under 3 minutes. It's been wonderful discussing the issue in Rivers State with you, Kunle and Warif, and we'll be discussing a lot more about this in the days ahead. We just pray that the drama is too much. We pray that our government adheres to the rule of law and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And from myself, Warif and Kunle, it's bye for now.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.